Monday I'm reading chapter 1, Tuesday I'm reading chapter 1, Thursday I'm reading chapter 1, Friday is when I'll read chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I come back. I think I'm not in the middle of the view. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Charity and this is Life with Charity. In today's video, I'm going to talk about things I wish I knew before going back to school. My energy is not so high like that because I worked in a very hot sun. Colleagues, it's very, very, very hot. Anyways, things I wish I knew before going back to school because it is not what I expected. So if you're in the transition of going back to school, this is the right video for you to watch. I mean, it's always good to learn from somebody that have gone back to school, right? Also, if you've gone back to school, you skipped years before going to school, and then you went to school, please do share your experience in the comment section and let us learn from each other. So let's get right into this video. So going back to school is not just academics. It's emotional, it's financial, it's mental. You need to have capacity mental-wise for you to be able to accommodate. Number two, financial. The financial burden that comes with paying school while you're an adult or after skipping years, it's a lot because tuition fees itself, it's a lot of money. You need to pay a lot of money. And also another thing is emotional. I think I was sharing with somebody my experience, especially, I think I didn't really have like a rough path from the beginning when I started when I was first year, but from this year, for the first 6 months of this year, it was an emotional breakdown every other day. And I'm not kidding you. Sometimes the work used to get so overwhelming. Work is overwhelming. School is overwhelming. You have other things that also need your time and your attention. And it just becomes too much. Going back to school is not just academic because you need emotional intelligence for you to be able to cope through. You need to build up capacity mentally so that you are able to go through that valley of the shadow of death. Let me not scare you guys. I feel like with time, your head become corondas. Coronda. If you understand, you understand. Let us share that in the comment section. It's like your head get used to the pressure, especially when you were away from school. For me, I was away from school for a period of 2 years. That's 2022. 2023 and I just went back 2024. So it's 2 full years, almost 3 because you finish the year before and then you graduate the next year. So it's almost like 3 years without being taught. So it's not easy. It's when otherwise there are people that we started with and they decided to drop on the way because they're like, I have children and I have a husband. You that does not have a child and you don't have any other thing that is hindering you, just go back so that, by the time you have kids and a husband and, businesses and other responsibilities, you have already shed some of the weight. You have already removed some of the weight. Going back to school is self-driven. Motivate yourself. You can be given an assignment. No one will come and hit you on your head to say submit. If you don't submit, don't submit. If you know me well, I was always that child that was always pressured, for me to put in my best. I used to think that somebody should be there to say, are you done? How far? When you go back to school as an adult, no one even cares. They'll put the due date. If you want, submit. If you don't want, they'll give you a 0. Also, another thing is nobody will check up on you. When you're an adult and you decide to go back to school, it's your own baby now. You need to manage yourself. You need to make sure that you prioritize your mental health. There are certain people that I've isolated myself from. Since I started with my master's, I had a lot of friends. There are certain people that I just cut off because they were not helping matters. It's those things of, I remember having a conversation with somebody and I told them I have school, blah, blah, blah. Then they decide, yeah, you can still finish your master's and not get a job. Like, you don't need such people in your life. You need to make sure that you isolate yourself from anything that will weigh you behind. Cut it off and make sure that the weight that you are carrying is lighter. Don't carry unnecessary burdens. Another thing that I have experienced also is the learning process. You know how I was younger, I think I used to, how do you call it in English? Okukopera? Like, is it claim, English, please help me. Like, when you read, let's say you read certain statement, let's say you read something that is written here, and then you memorize it, and then someone asks you what is there. For me, that was very easy. I could read, especially that biology book. I'll read, remember, and I can be able to tell it and maybe forget after I tell you, but I will remember. But going back to school after 2 years, my head was so slow. That's why don't skip a lot of years and without going back to school. It is very dangerous. Some people, for some, it is actually different for some people. Some people will say I'm more smarter than when I was in high school. I'm more smarter and things like that. But for me, I was experiencing it in the opposite direction. Like studying was so hard. I know I have an exam to write, let's say a certain Saturday, and I'll start on Monday. Monday, I'm reading chapter 1. Tuesday, I'm reading chapter 1. Thursday, I'm reading chapter 1. Friday is when I'll read chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm not even reading anymore because I'm panicking. Like, studying is so slow. It becomes, for me it was slow. So please do share your experience in the comment section. If you didn't experience that, please do share your experience in the comment section. For me, I was grasping things a little bit more slower than I used to. And also I've noticed that there are certain aspects of the course that I was doing that I could comprehend things faster. Like I was never really a numerical person, but all of a sudden I could, I could get things. So the studying pattern becomes different as well. So I wish I knew. I wish I knew that I needed to prepare myself mentally. And I think that is a mistake I did. I did not prepare myself mentally. I just went, registered. After I registered, waited for 2 months for class to start. And another thing is time management is very, very important. It's important than being intellectual or being intelligent. So you need to learn how to manage your time well. I used to have deadlines at work. Every Friday you have to submit like a certain, we had reports to submit. So you need to make sure that by the end of the week, or let's say, I think it was every Tuesday or Monday, I forgot, you need to submit something to your boss. So imagine now, I used to start at 7:30 to 4:30. 7:30 to 4:30, I'm in class, I'm at work. From 5 o'clock to 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I'm in class. When do you expect me to do all these things? You need to learn how to manage your time. I think that's also one thing that I'm still learning. I can't say I know how to manage my time. I don't want to come lying to you guys. I'm a work in progress. I'm learning how to manage my time. So you need to learn the art of managing your time wisely. Otherwise, you will have an assignment due and an exam tomorrow. And the day of the exam is when you will write an email to your lecturer to postpone the date or like, do you understand? So learn how to manage your time wisely. The little time you get to do your work, do it. If it means you are going to be sacrificing some of your lunch in order for you to get your work done, do it. And also prioritize rest. There were times I was overwhelmed and I noticed that I'm not overwhelmed because the work is a lot. I was overwhelmed because yes, I have a lot of things to do, but my mind is exhausted and I didn't give myself time to rest. Take that hour nap, prioritize your rest, and you'll be more productive. Let me not just be speaking of the negative and without highlighting the positive. The truth of the matter is, you become an expertise in the area that you are studying or in the area that you are, whatever you are learning, you become an expertise, you become more confident. The pressure, the emotional burden, the financial responsibility, it becomes better with time. You will get better. It's like a first year university student. You are so under pressure to make sure you pass, to make sure that you do well in your assignments. And first semester, you are under pressure, you even lose weight, you stop eating, you will lose your sleep. Second semester come, start balancing a little bit. You go in your first year, you become relaxed because it gets better with time. So with that being said, I hope I have mentioned literally all the things I would going back to school. And please do share your experience in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.